Today I'm going to be walking you through how to make a simple quilted patchwork table runner from charm packs. This table runner will come together very quickly, and if you're a beginner quilter or trying to just get into sewing in general, this is the perfect beginning project for you. You will end up with a beautiful table runner to display in your home, and it will hopefully motivate you and get you really inspired to continue in sewing and quilting. This will be a couple week series. I will take you through a couple steps this week, and then next week I'll take you through a few more steps all the way up until you have a finished quilted table runner. So let's get started. I want to start out by welcoming you to my channel, Sewing Suzanne, where I talk about all things sewing. Quilting is my passion, but I also get on tangents of garment making and just making, little trinkets here and there. I am very interested in getting people into sewing. I think it's a great hobby. I think you can make a business out of it as well. And so I share all sorts of different things here on my channel. So let's hop right into what we're going to need and what we're going to do for our quilted table runner. I want to start out by talking about the fabric in general. So I said we're going to be using charm packs. And I had never really got into charm packs until recently. I just honestly had never bought them and never really used them for anything. And then I needed it for something, and I realized how wonderful charm packs are. So if you're not familiar with a charm pack, it is a set of pre-cut fabrics, usually, excuse me, usually about 4-inch squares. You can also get mini charm packs, which I believe are 2-inch squares, but it's pre-cut. The nice thing about charm packs is that the fabrics usually coordinate. They're usually from the same line, and it's coordinating fabrics. I will admit that I'm not very good at coordinating colors and designs and things like that. So I love to buy charm packs and just different fabrics from a fabric line that already coordinates. So we're going to be using charm packs for this table runner. Where can you purchase your charm packs? So let's talk about that. I used to be really big in supporting Joann's. I think it was a wonderful place to shop at a really good budget for anyone. They had some higher quality fabrics, and they had some lower quality fabrics as well. But we all know that Joann's is no longer open, no longer a business. So I now do most of my shopping online. I don't really enjoy fabric shopping online. I like to see it in person, but that's just what I have to do. We also had a quilt shop that was within 20 minutes of my home, at the same time that I also had a Joann's within 20 minutes of my home. And the quilt shop was wonderful because they had all sorts of name brand designer quilters cotton, but they also closed down as well. So I go ahead and purchase online. 2 places that I recommend purchasing from, and I will link them in the video, is fatquarter.com, which is where I ordered these from. And the other place is Missouri Star Quilt Company. I think both of those, you're going to find almost anything that you need. Besides shopping online, if you go to your local Walmart, it is possible that they might have a small fabric section, and they would probably have some charm packs. Also, if you live within a decent amount of a fabric store, they would certainly have charm packs as well. So you're going to want to have a charm pack for this. You can cut your own fabric and cut 4-inch squares, but I'm telling you, it's going to be much easier just to have your charm pack ready to go. So that's fabric. Now let's talk about laying out your fabric. All right, we're going to start laying out our fabric for our simple quilted patchwork table runner made from a charm pack. Okay, so my charm pack that I ordered is called I Love Fall Most of All by Deb Strain for Moda. And it is October here, and I decided I just want to do a fall table runner for this tutorial. Okay, now I would encourage you to look at your charm pack and ask yourself if it has some low volume fabrics and some higher volume fabrics. And so what I mean by that is, do you have some lighter colored fabrics that have a lot of white in it? So I have a solid white in here. This one's got quite a bit of white, but here's definitely a low volume, definitely low volume. So I have quite a few low volume fabrics in here. So I am not going to add any type of fabric from my collection, just from anything I have in the house. I'm just going to use this charm pack. If this was a charm pack where there were virtually no low volumes in it at all, I would probably take some solid whites and just make it like a checkerboard pattern, or just, you know, get those mixed in there somewhere. Low volumes that's one thing I've learned. They are really important, and they just help make a balanced finished product when you're done. So, but I've looked through here and there's plenty. I mean, obviously these are not, but towards the beginning there's plenty of low volumes and lighter colored fabrics. So I am going to use everything I use is going to come from this charm pack. And so, like I said, it's going to be a patchwork because this is very beginner friendly. So what we need to do then is just start laying out how we want it to look. So you can do this anywhere. I do not have a sewing room yet in our home. It's on the to-do list. So I kind of work in different spaces, and right now I am just on the carpet, and I'm going to lay out how I want this to look, and then I'm going to show you. All right, so you can see I have done my layout with my charm pack of how I want my table runner. And what you're going to want to do is take 4 of your charm pack. You're going to have 4 across and 10 going down. So you will have 4 squares going across, and then you're going to make 10 going down. And as we stitch it together, every seam that we make, you're going to lose a 1/4 inch. So it'll get a little bit smaller as we are putting it together and finishing it up. And it'll be a nice size for any regular table. So you can see I've done my layout. What I recommend is, once you have your layout, go ahead and take a picture on your phone, because if you're like me, I have small children running around the home, and sometimes my fabric gets messed up even when I have it in piles the way that I wanted, and the layout is not necessarily the way that I had it. So I always recommend taking a picture, and then from here, if you have time and you're ready to sew, because this will go together pretty quickly, obviously you can just hop right to the sewing machine. That'll be my next week's video though, of how to put it all together. But if you're at a stopping point and you need to pause, we obviously aren't going to leave it just laying on the carpet like this. So we need to go ahead and get it organized and in a safe spot. And I'm going to show you the clips that I use for that. So I have these little clothespins that have letters on them, and they really come in handy for patterns that there's a lot of cutting, and so there's a lot of letters to them, a lot of pieces. And so I'm going to use these, but I'm not concerned about like going in alphabetical order. I'm not concerned about that at all. I just need, for this, I just simply need the clips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the top here, and I'm going to work my way left to right. So I'm going to take my very first charm pack square, and then put it on top of the second one, put it on top of the third one, put it on top of the fourth one, and then take a clip and have them clip together. And then I'm going to do it with my second row, just one on top of the other. I'm going to clip it and set it on top of there, and keep going down and working my way all the way down. And then I'll have a stack of all of my rows. And so when I start sewing it together, I'll be starting actually from the bottom and then working my way up to the top.